Arman Osmanov out of Kazakhstan. Lillian Garcia starts the night inside the PFL Spartan.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are live from Atlantic City with the second half of the PFL regular season. And we kick everything off in the featherweight division.
Wade looking to close things here. Strong left hand there from Arman Osmanov. And a right hook to follow it. Oh, and a straight right hand as he switches stances. Wade looking to close things here.
Nice headlock attempt by Chris Wade here.
Strong left hand there from Arman Osmanov. And a right hook to follow it. Oh, and a straight right hand as he switches stances. Wade looking to close things here.
Nice headlock.
free-to-play pool. Take down your share of the prize by predicting how it's all going down, like who will walk out a winner and how long the fights will last. What are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings app now and enter promo code PFL to play free for $5,000.
Color cartridges have never been ready for another school year.
Cyan
Mara, honor roll. The Epson Eco Tank. No more cartridges. It comes with an incredible amount of ink. Just fill and chill.
It's time. Time to log off.
The Epson Eco Tank. No more cartridges. It comes with an incredible amount of ink. Just fill and chill.
$99 free shipping. Use code TIME at charlesterran.com.
For some reason, I can't stop ordering strawberry limeades.
My favorite Sonic drink? Yeah. Ocean water.
The slush is bringing this to another level.
Cherry limeade.
Coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus, it's a massive debut in the sport of mixed martial arts. The greatest women's boxer in history, Claressa Shields, steps into the cage for the first time in a tough matchup against jiu-jitsu practitioner Brittany Elkin. Plus, the push to the playoffs heats up for frontrunners Brendan Loughnane, Bubba Jenkins, and Clay Collin. Let's take a look at the ConnorParks.com damage meter. Arman Ospinov, he wore some damage to the legs and even a couple of body kicks, but it was the head that had kicked and then the left hands that finished it out that have him glowing red up top. Fighter Performance Rating brought to you by Rich Energy. 52-42 in favor of Arman Ospinov in round one, and he actually scored well in round two with some damage landed on Chris Wade. But Kenny, what is the only way to score 100 in the FPR?
You gotta get a finish in that round, and that was the difference.
Lillian Garcia makes it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stoppage comes officially at 2 minutes and 18 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by knockout, earning 5 points in the featherweight division, clinching a spot in the 2021 PFL playoffs, Chris Wade!
There you saw the kick. Ospinov leaned into that. That right leg came right up and caught him right on the chin. 2 left hooks to finish the night for Chris Wade. You see it? Leans. I don't know what he was leaning into, but he leaned right into it. Shin on face. Not a good thing.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get some lateral movement to get out of there and just ran right into that right leg. You see him get rocked there. He's looking away from the action, holding on to the cage. Chris Wade hops all over him. Just a series of left hands getting it done. Coming back. I mean, Randy, it looked like Chris Wade was going to get knocked out. Then he comes back to win by knockout. That was wild. What a fight.
He looked like he was in trouble. He was moving back, giving ground, and taking shots, but he was still there.
Yeah. And here are the featherweight standings. You see Chris Wade right now leading the pack with 8 points, getting the finish. Seemed like he was saying something to Brendan Loughnane, saying, "You said this division was yours, mate." So Chris is fired up and ready to rock. And Sean is with Chris Wade.
All right, thanks, Kenny. I am here inside the PFL Smart Cage with our winner, Chris Wade. 145 pounds. We saw you look good in your first bout, and in this one, it was a tough test. But once again, you look like a different animal at featherweight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's a tough cut. It really is. It tries all my mental fortitude, but I'm a big boy at this weight. I'm probably the biggest dude in this weight class, so it pays dividends for sure.
Well, we were just talking about it. 24 fights into your career, you get your first knockout. It feels good, right?
Oh my God, the monkey that I just got off my back, you don't even know. I've been waiting for one of those my whole career, and to get it against such a tough striker, it's just poetic justice.
I tell you what, we're looking at some replays here, and Arman Usmanov, even in that second round, he got after you a little bit. He tested your chin, you weathered the storm, you pushed him away with a kick, and the ultimate result is you face plant the guy.
Yeah, I mean, also 24 fights into my career, and nobody's been able to put me away, so I'm always going to be there in front of the guy, and I'm going to be fighting till the end each and every bout. So you gotta kill me in here this time.
Third PFL season, third time you've guaranteed yourself a spot in the playoffs. Congratulations.
Thank you. I love you guys. Long Island, I love you. I'll see you soon, all right? Have a loyal for me.
Chris Wade, ladies and gentlemen.
I love you, Haley. I love you, Stevie.
And there's a look at Sheymon Moraes' dressing room as he gets ready for a big bout against Jesse Stern. Sheymon Moraes looking to bounce back off the loss. Stern making his PFL debut when we return on Plus.
One smart move is all it takes to get back on track. And make great things happen. Get the right parts right now at carparts.com.
The PFL is live from Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, home to all 6 of our PFL regular season here in 2021. Coming off of Chris Wade's second round finish, featherweight standings, top 4 advance to the playoffs. Chris Wade will be one of those top 4. I don't do the math, Kenny, but mathematically he just guaranteed himself a spot in the playoffs.
Absolutely. What a win. Did exactly what he wanted to do. Put a lot of pressure on himself, it seemed, and he did it against a very dangerous striker from Kazakhstan. What a win.
And coming up in the featherweight division, Sheymon Moraes, Jesse Stern. Sheymon Moraes looking to bounce back off a loss. He's the one who got knocked out by Brendan Loughnane. He still wants a spot in these playoffs. Jesse Stern is making his PFL debut.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get our next fighters to the cage. First, Jesse Stern.
Stern told us in a pre-fight interviews that making weight was the most difficult part of this whole process for him, and that shows. He didn't make weight. So Moraes able to win some bonus points here, but Stern's not going to be able to score any points to get him into the playoffs. It's purely Moraes' show to win here tonight.
Well, Stern is fighting for his second check. He's fighting for pride. He's fighting hopefully for a spot in PFL Season 4. But look, Sheymon Moraes is no slouch. Coming off a loss, we expect to see him working on whatever didn't work against Brendan Loughnane.
And
there is Shayman Moraes. And again, this is a fighter with a lot of pride, and he's not going to go out there and just play conservatively here. He wants to get some big-time points here against Stern. He's an excellent striker. He's very dangerous. Does not want to get backed up the same way he did against Brendan Loughnane. I expect him to come out as the aggressor here against Stern.
And because his opponent missed weight, he's guaranteed 3 points in this bout, but it's not enough.
Yes.
He needs a finish. He wants a finish in order to snag himself the extras in a spot in the playoff. Take a look at our tail of the tape. Shayman Moraes, 1 year older, 1 inch shorter, 1 pound lighter because Stern missed the 146-pound featherweight limit. And Shayman Moraes with a 3-inch arm reach advantage. Lillian Garcia starts them off.
Fight fans, we continue the action in the featherweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a striker. Standing at 5'9", he officially weighs in at 146 3/4 pounds. In 15 professional bouts, he has a record of 11 wins and 4 losses, with 6 victories by way of stoppage. Fighting out of Baltimore, Maryland, here is Relentless Jesse Stern. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he is also a striker. Standing at 5'8", he officially weighs in 146 pounds. In 16 professional fights, he has a record of 11 wins and 5 losses, with 5 victories by way of knockout. Fighting out of Niterói, Brazil, here is Shayman Moraes. Your referee in charge, Keith Peterson.
Shayman Moraes in the green trunks, Jesse Stern in the black and gray. Keith Peterson dressed in all black tonight. 145-pound, 3 rounds. A spot in the playoffs on the line for Shayman Moraes potentially.
Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Fight!
Tuck to the gloves and we are underway. Already, Randy, a more conservative start than our opening bout of the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Measuring, finding that rhythm, trying to measure that distance very well, not going to just bull rush in there for anything. And you'd think Moraes would have a little more fire under his butt because he needs these bonus points to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely has a more traditional Muay Thai approach. Kind of stomps his way into position, hands high, kind of tie walks into position. And Stern kind of showing a lot more movement here, but surprised that Moraes isn't trying to get after it a little bit more with strikes to lead the dance here.
The first punch of the fight is a jab from Shayman Moraes, partially blocked there by Stern.
Stern lists himself as a striker, and I asked him about that in the interviews. He's got 5 submissions and 1 knockout, but he's
Shayman Moraes, partially blocked there by Stern. Self-awareness is not always a fighter's strong suit. Low calf kick there from Shayman Moraes.
Oh, nice little. That was slick.
That was a beautiful little sweep there. Diashi Barai there. You see that in judo. Beautiful little fake like he was going to kick and then tripped out that leg there.
You know a guy's going to pick his front leg up when he tried to kick it. He timed that, stuck his foot right to that, and pulled that foot right out from under him. Pretty slick move.
And he lands all the way inside control, so a lot of the work done early here for Stern, advancing on the ground. Shayman Moraes framing the head and neck away. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting because urgency off the bottom is important, especially when you need points, but guys are so conditioned to, I know where I'm at. Shayman Moraes can't afford to hang out down here for too long.
I agree. He doesn't want Stern to really settle his weight down, and it seemed like he was content to let Stern get to that side control position. Now he's starting to work a little bit better, trying to strip his hips away to create space to maybe get back to guard. There he is, getting back to a half guard, a little bit better of a position now, trying to attack that shoulder lock. Kimura, see if he can roll Stern out of position or potentially lock up a submission. It's tough to do that, tough to finish it from half guard, but maybe he can reverse him here.
Often this is used as a sweep. You might see Sheymon Moraes try and take Stern over his own right leg. He thinks better of it and lets go. Keeps the wrist control. Sheymon Moraes on bottom here. Stern tries to test the right hand from the top. Passes into half guard again.
Moraes needs to dig in with that left hand, get that underhook, and circle towards that side and try and find a way up. He can't afford to spend the rest of this round on his back.
Yeah, absolutely. He's allowing Stern to really control that head. And even when he had a chance to frame and scoot out, he's just not doing a good enough job there of preventing Stern from controlling that head position.
There's the underhook. He's got the position now. If he can start to circle towards that underhook and maneuver underneath Stern, then he's going to try and sweep the other way.
Stern showing some good control here, just trying to use his weight, letting Moraes kind of carry his weight a little bit and trying to move into three-quarters mount or a potential mount. Nice explosive movement there from Moraes, but Stern trying to attack the back.
Moraes doing a nice job of coming right over the fence and using that to lean on, use that solid barrier to keep himself up and keep Stern from taking his back outright.
Now Sheymon Moraes hand fighting, trying to get Stern off his back. Stern pulling and pushing. Moraes looking to dip that left shoulder and face his opponent. Successfully does so. Back to a neutral position here. And now Sheymon Moraes pushes Jesse Stern against his barricade. Little uppercut to the midsection there from Sheymon Moraes and a knee.
Stern doing a nice job of the head position.
Oh! Down and up they go. The toss from Sheymon Moraes. And now work with the left hand as we come up on 10 seconds remaining. Knee to the midsection again. Stern drags him back down, and we will see round number 2 here on ESPN Plus.
Wendy's Summer Strawberry Chicken Salad is back because we make salads bursting with flavor, unlike some places.
People want salads.
We don't have salads.
Ooh, too hard to do fresh? At Wendy's, we say yes to fresh and yes to salads.
I just got my cashback match. Is this for real?
Yep. We match all the cashback new card members earn at the end of their first year.
Automatically.
Whoa, I got my money! Hard to contain yourself, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Let go.
Get a $1-for-$1 match at the end of your first year.
Season, the PFL has developed a brand new statistic in MMA. Fighter performance rating. After every round, fighters receive a score between 1 and 100. Here's the important part. It's not just based on traditional MMA stats that you've seen, like strikes landed, takedowns tallied. More importantly, it's the impact those actions have in every round. It's all measured in our smart cage and pulled into our FPR algorithm.
Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Fight.
55-28 FPR score in favor of Jesse Stern as Sheymon Moraes opens the round with a kick to the body. Randy, I'm expecting to see more urgency out of Sheymon Moraes here in round 2.
Yeah, I think he has to have more urgency. He has got to have those bonus points. He already gets 3 points for the walkover win, and he needs those bonus points if he has any shot at keeping hopes for the playoffs alive.
Even a big finish doesn't guarantee Sheymon Moraes anything, but it's his only chance. And right hand! Sheymon Moraes drops Stern, now some shots to the body. Jesse Stern is smiling up at his opponent. Sheymon Moraes pouring on some punishment to the body and says, yeah, stand back up, let's do it again.
Stern standing a little bit too square to his opponent. That's why he's eating those big shots. And Moraes is definitely staying busier, much busier than he did in round 1, and it's paying off.
A flurry there from Moraes, and Stern is now advancing. Body kick, partially caught there by Stern. There's Marcin Held watching the action. Big lightweight upset victory over the two-time champ Natan Schulte in his first outing.
He's finding a lot more success by being the aggressor and being busier. Stern doesn't really have anything besides maybe clinch to stop him from doing that. Let's see if Stern switches things up and goes for a takedown.
Randy, we talked about in the pre-show how an orthodox opponent can sometimes mess things up. Moraes had some struggles in the first round. Stern is certainly an orthodox, but I think Shimon Moraes is starting to figure it out.
He is. He's starting to settle into his rhythm, find his range. He's throwing more combinations, mixing up the kicks and the punches, and he's being much more effective and much more aggressive in this round.
Have you ever had an opponent smile at you the entirety of the fight?
I haven't.
Freaks me out a little bit. That's what Jesse Stern has been doing for most of this bout. About halfway gone here in round number 2. Body kick again there from Shimon Moraes. Leg kick from Stern. Body shot with the left hand from Moraes. Nice knee. Footwheel attempt there from Jesse Stern. He wants that result that he got in round 1.
Very slick from there. That was a very sharp technique.
Jesse's got to be very careful because he's staying in the boxing range. He's keeping those hands a little bit too low. See if Moraes takes advantage of it.
Switching stance there to Stern. Jab lands for Shimon Moraes. Body kick again.
Shimon landed a couple of those body kicks. You might look for him to come up high with his head so low.
90 seconds left in round number 2. Shimon Moraes could still snag some bonus points as another jab lands. Trip attempt there from Stern. This time Moraes stops it. Now he looks to hang heavy on the neck.
Stern doing a nice job of fighting the hands immediately, protecting his neck.
Moraes shuts him off. Back to the center of the smart cage they go. Nice low calf kick there from Shimon Moraes. Excellent striking defense here from Shimon Moraes. It's been stand up the whole way. Jesse Stern has hardly landed a thing in round number 2.
Yeah, Moraes needs to show a little bit more lateral movement and try to create a little bit more angles here against Stern.
Test that high kick that you were teasing earlier, Randy.
Oh, nice takedown there by Stern.
Stern will finish the round on top here as the 10-second clapper sounds. He's inside control. I lied to you. That's your
right before the round was over, countered that takedown attempt with that Kimura, that shoulder lock, and did it brilliantly. Got the reversal and got the submission.
Shame on me, fellas. I said Jesse said we'll finish on top. And Shimon Moraes said, oh no, he won't.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't see the angle was on the far side. Great stuff there by Moraes. Countered earlier with the guillotine to stop.
The buzzer beater.
It was a loose body lock to get on top by Stern, but it was so loose it allowed Shimon to lock onto that arm, use it as a sweep, and go right to the submission. Very slick.
There it is. He grabs the wrist, then gets the hand behind the back, and from there, Stern was going to get rolled. Was he going to get submitted? Yes. He got it way behind, got the hand behind the head. And once you get that hand behind the back, you really don't have a heck of a lot of leverage. And once he got on top, he got the angle, threw that leg over the head, and did a beautiful submission finish over Jesse Stern.
I tell you what, from a striker like Shimon Moraes, you go from setting up the submission to getting the tap, and what is that, 5 seconds, Kevin?
Yeah,
that's impressive. And it is the first submission victory of Sheymon Moraes' career. Ouch!
That was deep. That was very deep.
Celebration there from Sheymon Moraes. Well deserved. The bonus points that he needed. It's still a waiting game for him. He'll have to see if those 5 points are enough for a playoff spot. As we take a look at the Cagenomics stats bundle, a lot of hay in the barn there in round 2 in the striking game for Sheymon Moraes. Jesse Stern with a takedown late, but the submission attempt locks it up for Sheymon Moraes and a finish.
It's time. Time to log off, end that last video call, and take it outside. It's time to get in touch with your best self, and back in touch with friends. At Charles Tyrrell, we have the fresh spring looks to get you back to the stylish self you knew was still in. Try any 3 Charles Tyrrell shirts with $99 free shipping. Use code TIME at charlestyrrell.com.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 263, Saturday. Israel Adesanya defends the middleweight title against Marvin Vettori. Davison Figueiredo defends the flyweight title in a rematch with Brandon Moreno. And Nate Diaz makes his return against Leon Edwards. New subscribers get UFC 263 and a year of ESPN Plus for only $89.98. With ESPN Plus, you'll get unrivaled UFC access, including exclusive fights and original content. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/.
PFL action continues in the featherweight and lightweight divisions. And coming up later tonight, the MMA debut of Claressa Shields. Rich Energy Fighter Performance rating 55-28 in favor of Jesse Stern in round number 1 after that nifty little sweep takedown. Randy, what's the only way that you can score 100 in the FPRs?
By a finish. That is the only way.
Perfect 100 for Sheymon Moraes in round 2. Lillian Garcia makes it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stoppage comes officially at 4 minutes and 59 seconds of round number 2. Submission by Kimura, earning 5 points in the featherweight division, Sheymon Moraes.
See you guys in the semifinals. Believe, you have to believe.
Sheymon Moraes sending a message. See you at the semifinals. Well, it depends on how everything else plays out tonight. A victory for now in the second round puts Sheymon Moraes in the top 4 at featherweight. Chris Wade has already clinched a spot, so one of those is gone. Will those 5 points be enough to hang on to one of the final 3 featherweight playoff spots? TBD. Excellent performance by Sheymon Moraes. Speaking of excellent performances, let's check in with Jonathan Coachman and Ian Parker to see how the early betting results are going.
Sean, you'll have to excuse me. I just got back from cashing my opening ticket at the pay window because my man Ian Parker, it was your underdog of the night right from the jump. What did you see that Chris Wade did so well in that spectacular win?
He takes shots better than anybody I've ever seen. His toughness and that stamina, that cardio that he talked about. He literally said he wanted to drag us into the second or third round. Once those kicks were coming, that timing was perfect. That KO, the first one in his career, take that to the pay window, Coach.
We certainly did, and that was really nice. Plus 115. And I got to tell you that this is a night where every fight matters, yes, but how they finish matters too. And he was one of 4 fighters that had 3 points. He needed the bonus points to guarantee him a shot at getting into the playoffs, and he got it done, and he did it in spectacular fashion. Ian, I'm coach. John, we'll send it back to you.
Glad you're here.
Thank you, Jonathan Coachman. And congratulations to Ian Parker. Always great to catch at the window. Take a look at the lightweight standings so far. Blake Pollard has 6 points. We'll see him later tonight on ESPN2. Ahmed Ali and Alexander Martinez, Marcin Held and Haush Manfio, all with 3 points. Speaking of the lightweights, Loic Rajaba out of Tajikistan, he will be taking on Ahmed Aliev, a dynamic striker with some wrestling skills to boot. That promises to be an exciting affair. Coming up next.
Color cartridges in your printer ready for another school year?
What's cyan mean?
It means cyan, Mara, honor roll. The Epson Eco Tank. No more cartridges. It comes with an incredible amount of ink. Just fill and chill.
We're in it for the hustle, the pride, the progress. I'm a boss, I'm upright, how to hand out. The WNBA, we're in it for good. Chicago Sky versus Minnesota Lynx, Tuesday at 9 on ESPN.
Welcome back to Atlantic City. Sean O'Connell standing here between two Hall of Famers. MMA Hall of Famer Randy Couture, Pro Football Hall of Famer Ray Lewis, who he might have won a couple of Super Bowls. He might have been the MVP, no big deal. Ray, this intriguing, would you something like this?
Yeah, you go in there. You've done this, right?
Yeah.
And I've done it on a different level. But when you watch the counters, when you watch the mentality of how they're setting up the move before you get them, man, you know all of this, right? That's the intrigue part. That's the intrigue part for me, man. So I'm jumping out of my seat over there. I'm watching this from the side.
For folks who don't know at home, Ray Lewis is part of our athlete advisory board here in the Professional Fighters League. What does that actually entail for you, Ray?
Well, honestly, I think it's the involvement about it, right? All the way around it. I grew up in the wrestling world, and I totally understand it. And when the PFL came to just have a conversation about it, what excited me the most was how the players and the partners was getting treated, right? Guys like yourself, right? Having a fair chance. Not a setup fight, right? Like, this guy's fight, this guy's. No. It's like every man's for itself. Every woman is for itself. And if you can create that structure in this type of fight, man, it's just absolutely incredible. So for me to be a part of that and to be able to bring leadership to it, it all works.
Well, there's a couple of guys who've been around the PFL world and around the mixed martial arts world for a long time. One of the things that's fascinating about the PFL that maybe also was appealing to you, it's a true sports format, right?
Yes,
Everywhere else it's politics and matchmaking. Here, it's a regular season, it's playoffs, and a championship, just like you would see in football.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're terrible in the regular season, your playoff chances may not be that high. And you see that here, right? You see that guys going in and need that one extra push, right? You watch Wade in the first fight, right? He's losing that fight clearly in the first fight. That body get knocked out, right? But he probably saves his career, right? And I've been there before. I've been there before where you barely missed the playoffs. And I played through injury. How do you fight through all of that? And you see these guys doing this, man. I'm telling you, I'm really excited to be a part of this because of that dynamic. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a look at our lightweight standings. By the way, I did tell Ray Lewis, I'm a University of Utah guy. He's in Miami. We call ourselves the real U now. And
really?
I don't know if everyone knows this.
Well, I found out Ray's a state champion wrestler, too, so I kind of want to get him on the mat as well.
I would pay to see that. That might be a next feature main event.
I tell you, I would really love a couple rounds with you.
Let's do it. Make it happen.
Absolutely, let's make it happen.
Let's make that happen. I will be as far away from that as I can possibly find myself, because that's a lot of Hall of Fame beef if those two guys get after it. Ray Lewis, So happy to have you part of
It'll be so good. It's going to be a good ride, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Gonna be a lot of fun. Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer, no big deal. Back to some regular season action here in Professional Fighters League. Lightweight standings right there in front of you. Clay Collard right now at the top at 155 pounds. Ahmed Aliev and Loic Rajabov are looking to score some points coming up next. And there it is right there. Loic Rajabov, he was a finalist a couple of seasons ago. Kenny Florian, this guy, takedowns in his first fight of the regular season, a grinding performance, and he felt like he got robbed in the decision. He's coming in with a chip on his shoulder.
Oh, boy.
That's right. And he always fights angry. I think he's going to be even angrier tonight. He needs the points.
Little chip on his shoulder.
Trademark aggressive style here from Loic Rajabov. And look, when you need points, it's probably important that that is your default setting, to be coming forward and attacking all the time.
Absolutely. He feels he's got the big wrestling advantage here against Aliev. I believe they've trained with each other before.
Really?
Some good intel for him to be able to utilize that. I believe they're friendly, so I don't expect them to be too friendly tonight, though.
Ray Lewis, how many of your friends have you punched in the face?
I punched my brother in his face.
It's part of the world of mixed martial arts. So, you know what? You, Randy, and your brother. Let's get you all in there. Let's make it happen.
And his opponent, Ahmed Aliev.
This guy's striking is what impresses me. He's so smooth. His footwork and finding range and just landing those combinations is very impressive for a guy who's got a great grappling background from Sambo. So this guy's fun to watch. Throws great combinations. He's,
one thing that I love about a lot of these Dagestani guys, a lot of these Russian guys, they have that grappling background, and what it does is it frees up their striking. They can be a lot more fluid, creative with their striking, because they're not worried about getting put on their back. They'll just hop right back down, go reverse. It doesn't bother them to get put down. Let's take a look at our tail of the tape in our first lightweight bout of the evening. Ahmed Aliev, 1 year older. These men are the same height, the same weight. Ahmed Aliev has a 4-inch reach advantage in the arms. He will stay long and bounce around. Watch it as it plays out. Lillian Garcia, let's get him going.
Over 20 nations are being represented here in the 2021 PFL roster. And now we begin the action in the lightweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a wrestler who stands at 5'8" and weighs in officially at 156 pounds. In 17 professional bouts, he has a record of 13 victories, 3 losses, and 1 draw, with 10 wins by way of stoppage. Fighting out of Dushanbe, Tajikistan, here is Loic Rajabov. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he is a striker. Standing at 5'8", he officially weighs in at 155 and 1/2 pounds. In 26 professional bouts, he has a record of 20 victories and 6 losses, with 11 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Astrakhan, Russia, here is Ahmed Aliev. Your referee in charge, Keith Peterson.
Ahmed Aliev in the red trunks, Loic Rajabov in the black and gray, Randy Couture, Sean O'Connell, Kenny Florian, and Ray Lewis during the broadcast.
Oh my, here we go, guys.
Just don't take my spot, all right? you can have Florian's chair, that's fine. Touch of the gloves from these two well-acquainted fighters, and they get after it for some playoff action potentially. Or I should say, right to compete in playoff action. This is the second regular season bout for both men. Oh my! Rajabov, he gets right to work. Aliev holding on to the leg.
He's in trouble.
He is in trouble. Goodness!
Unbelievable! Oh my goodness.
Loic Rajabov conflicted in the the punishment to show him he knows well. Keith Peterson jumped in to stop it. Wow.
Right hand followed by that left hook, and that left hook is what did it. That was sharp.
It was a short shot, and that's all it takes. Took away his equilibrium, and Rajabov getting it done. I mean, that's as good as it gets, but you can see him, he's concerned for his buddy Aliev.
Ahmed Aliev is conscious, he's nodding, he's fine, apparently, or at least he says so, and it's good news. For us, that's good news for Louis Rajabov. Ray, listen to this. Tell me, in 2019, Louis Rajabov, who just won that fight, was in the same scenario. He lost his first bout of the season. He came back, he won big in the second bout, he ended up competing in the championship. That finish might have set him up for the same scenario this year. When your back's against the wall, sometimes it brings out the best in you.
The best in you comes out when the back's against the wall. Real time. Oh my gosh.
Real time in this replay.
Real time.
You can't see it in slow motion. Touches the gloves.
Touching each other up. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Here it comes.
He loaded though. He loaded already. He loaded. Money.
Oh! Money. Left hook, right hand. And Alier's in trouble here. He knows it's over.
That's when he knew he was in trouble. He kept his head covered. He didn't come back up when the pressure was on.
He just rolled to the side. Goodness gracious. Oh, and Ahmed Aliev is no slouch. He's a tough guy. Wow. He's extremely well-rounded.
But if you get caught in the right spot, it don't matter.
That's right. And once he let go of that low-level single, I mean, he was done. He just curled up in a ball, and Rajabov went to work.
Saw Loic look up at the referee like, come on, I've given him enough. Stop this already.
Yeah, it looked like it was on the temple. I think it was right on the temple. And those are the kind of shots that affect your inner ear. It throws off your equilibrium, gets you stepping in potholes, and man, Rajabov.
No helmet.
What a shot.
No helmet in this one for sure.
Caused that CPU to short circuit. Nothing wants to work. Wow.
Excellent performance by Louis Rajabov. This man comes to fight every single time. You told us you thought he had the wrestling advantage, but we knew power is always an issue. And you saw there, he's doing his business. He's doing his job. He's peppering with the left hands, trying to get the stoppage, and he's pleading with Keith Peterson, who was right on top of the action, stepped in to stop it. Louis Rajabov, 27 seconds. TKO victory. That is the fastest knockout in PFL lightweight history.
Ever.
In the short history of the PFL, yes. There's the Cagenomics stats bundle presented by Geico. It took 6 strikes for Louis Rajabov to get those 6 points.
Did you know that Geico's whole 15 minutes thing, that came from me? Really? My first idea was, in 1/4 of an hour, your savings will tower over you, figuratively speaking. But that's not catchy, is it? It's not going to swim about in your brain. So I thought, what about 15 minutes, 15%? Serendipity.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
This June 21st and 22nd is Amazon Prime Day. 2 days of epic deals. You can change your kitchen, change your yard, change your game, even change the way you celebrate. Yeah, Prime Day deals can change a lot. So if you have plans on Prime Day, this June 21st and 22nd, change them.
It's time. Time to log off. End that last video call and take it outside. It's It's time to get in touch with your best self and back in touch with friends. At Charles Tyrrell, we have the fresh spring looks to get you back to the stylish self you knew was still in you. Try any 3 Charles Tyrrell shirts with $99 with free shipping. Use code TIME at charlestyrrell.com.
This is brought to you by Bose, the official sound of the PFL. DraftKings, an official partner of the Professional Fighters League. CarParts.com. Get the right parts right now at CarParts.com. And by the Air Force Reserve. Explore your opportunities.
PFL's exclusive Finder Performance Rating is sponsored by Rich Energy. The week where Jabov scores a perfect 100, Ahmed Aliyev did not land a punch. Unfortunately, he takes home the 0. As clean a performance as you can get from the week where Jabov. Lillian Garcia has the win.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stoppage comes officially at 27 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by knockout and earning 6 points in the lightweight division, Loic Rajaba.
First round, 27 seconds, 6 points. Wow. And I tell you what, time spent inside the cage in a victory. So a quick victory, that is a tiebreaker later on if we get to 2 people have 6 points. So that could prove huge for Loic Rajabov. Take a look at the lightweight standings, and that does slide Loic Rajabov for now into first position. We've got plenty of lightweight action still to come on ESPN Plus and on ESPN2. But for the moment, Loic Rajabov, first place at 155 pounds. We now take a look at the Fuji training room. 2-time Olympic gold medalist and 3-division boxing world champion Claressa Shields have been preparing for her MMA debut. That takes place later tonight. Boxing and MMA are 2 different combat sports. They're different in almost every way, even down to the gloves. 10 ounces in boxing, 4 ounces here in MMA. Shields actually spoke with us about how that affects her striking.
I punch so fast that in boxing gloves, sometimes my hands weren't even balled up. It's like now in MMA, I have to have my hands balled up all the time. That's something that I had learned early on. With the MMA gloves being smaller, I have to be very aware of that, or else I can break my wrist or, freaking hurt my hand. And I mean, you can just feel every punch. People love to feel their punch, right? When you hit somebody good and you feel that shake, you like, that's the punch there that put people out. In MMA gloves, like, it's like, you feel that and you like, shh, that hurt.
Look, Claressa Shields is laughing about it. Okay, right. Here's the thing. What she is talking about there is a fundamental difference in the way that she clinches her fist. Right. That's her 2 primary weapons as she jumps in for her MMA debut tonight. We're talking about really reinventing the wheel for Claressa Shields, Kenny.
It is. It's completely different. Not only, offensively, because, again, the first time I wrapped an MMA glove around my hand, it feels really good. You're like, I get to hit somebody with these things. But also defensively, you don't have as much protecting your head, so you can sneak in shots where you might not be able to with a big boxing glove.
Nowhere to hide. And I think the footwork is the other thing that you have to adjust. Right. Boxers make that target real small. Yes. You do that, your lead leg is going to be a wore out.
Or kick.
Take down or cut, kick to death.
She said most of her punches wasn't even, her hands wasn't even closed. Though.
Right.
Well, thumb loop and boxing glove won't allow that.
So now she's really got to ball it up. Yeah. By the way, I'm not usually self-conscious about the size of my hands, but when I'm
dude, I shook his hand earlier and my hand's still hurting, by the way, Ray, so thank you for that.
Man, we don't have full-range gloves that can fit those mitts. I'm sorry, Ray, there's just nothing for you here in the Professional Fighters League. Claressa Shields is up later tonight in her mixed martial arts debut. You're going to want to see that. But up next, marching held right there, getting ready. Still no respect for the man who knocked off the 2-time champion in his PFL debut. His opponent, Olivier Albin Messier, makes his PFL debut after nearly a 2-year layoff from the sport. And that time, the Canadian gangster realized what was most important to him. And tonight, he's excited to return to action and showcase his well-rounded skill set. And he promises this will be the best fight on the card. That's a big promise.
That's a big promise.
Right now, I'm really happy to be back. It was a hard 2 years I didn't fight, and sometimes when things like this happens, you kind of see what's important in your life. Fighting is my life. I can see that now. I just want to put on a show. I just want to fight. I just want to do what I like. Orson L, really great opponent. I was looking at that matchup in the past. He looked really improved in his last fight. I was really impressed. I think it's the most interesting fight on the card.
Oh, nice.
Because of the style matchup, it's look like a little bit like an old school matchup, you know? Hardcore fans gonna love the matchup. I think a lot of people gonna be surprised too. Like I said, I think this is the most intriguing matchup on the card. Two great athletes to fight each other. Two great athletes on the ground. Two great athletes on the feet now. I think this is the best fight of the night.
They say you should wait 30 minutes to swim after you eat. Nobody said anything about slurping Arby's $1 floats. Seems like a great opportunity to slurp and splash. Arby's, we have the meat.
The PFL is live from Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City, home to all 6 events of the 2021 PFL regular season. Have you gotten your PFL fan tokens yet? Vote on fighter bonuses, many other polls throughout the season, win grand prizes, merchandise, and once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Download the Socios.com app and impact the action today. There's our lightweight standings. Malik Rajabov, a 27-second TKO victory, good for a quick 6 points. And for now, that's live in front of Clay Collard, who has a decision victory and 3 walkover points. We get to see him later tonight, and he'll try and earn some bonus points on top of that. Well, as long as we're focused on the lightweights, OAM, Olivier Albert Mercier, making his PFL debut against Marcin Held, who made a real statement in his Professional Fighters League debut.
There is Olivier Aubin Mercier, OAM. He's on the national team for Canada in judo. Wrestles as well. Excellent striker. Been working hard on his leg lock defense. He's going to need that here against Marcin Held. He's very well trained. Trains up in Montreal at TriStar Gym and comes in tremendous shape. That's a big lightweight right there, boys.
You know, I fought on a couple of cards with OAM earlier in my career. Really liked this guy. Great attitude. Just a really exciting fighter. Randy, Kenny just mentioned it. He said, well, you got to be ready for the leg locks when you're fighting a guy like Marcin Held. We've been promising that. And Marcin Held is just like, oh, well, maybe.
Yeah. The problem is you got to transition to take a guy down, and this is not going to be an easy guy to take down.
Right.
Marcin Held.
Well, there he is, coming off a hard-fought decision victory over a 2-time champion in Nathan Schultz. Now you've got to follow it up potentially with a finish if you want to guarantee yourself a spot in the lightweight playoffs.
I expect to see him come out hard, let his hands go, see those same combinations that he used against Nathan Schultz, and put AOM or OAM in a position to want to take him down, to want to try to put him on the ground, where he can roll to those leg locks and get to the positions that he wants to be in. I expect to see good hands from Held tonight.
Take a look at the tail of the tape between these 255-pounders. 3 years older is OAM, 1 inch taller. Everything else close to the same. Marcin Held representing Poland. Olivier Aubin-Mercier, French-Canadian. Lillian Garcia starts them off inside the Smart Cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, we continue the action in the lightweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Standing at 5'10", he officially weighs in at 155 1/2 pounds. In 16 professional fights, he has a record of 11 wins and 5 losses, with 9 victories by way of stoppage. Fighting out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, here is the Canadian gangster, Olivier Aubin-Mercier. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he is also a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Standing at 5'9", he officially weighs in 155 1/2 pounds. In 34 professional fights, this veteran has an impressive record of 27 victories and 7 losses, with 18 wins by way of stoppage. Fighting out of Tychy, Poland, here is Marcin Held. Your referee in charge, Gasper Oliver.
Gasper Oliver equipped with our ref cam. Should the action dictate it, we might take you inside the PFL Smart Cage for an up-close and personal look. OAM in the black and gray Valet Tudos. Marcin Held in the red and black trunks. Touch of the gloves. Aubin-Mercier in the southpaw stance.
And Marcin Held said that was a little bit of a concern for him. He doesn't love fighting southpaws, but he did say he had one in the gym to help him prepare. And OAM bringing the pressure right now.
OAM slugging his way into that clinch to see if he can take advantage of this situation. Use that judo.
Single leg attempt here from Marcin Held.
Sean, you and I both recognize the bursa on the left elbow of Mercier is a giant bubble there.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation going into the Lesnar fight. And sometimes it happens that bursa in that elbow just gets irritated, fired up, and swollen.
Yes, I've had one as well, and then it got infected. You got to be careful with that as well. So, yeah, those are not fun.
It's a sign he had a good camp.
That's right, exactly.
Held in on that single, trying to find a way to pull him off the fence and run the pipe and put him on his back.
Marcin Held hanging on to 3 points from his decision victory in his bout against Nathan Schultz. OAM, he needs a finish because he comes in, he wasn't able to report to his first fight, so he's -1 in the standings for now. Held paws out the jab. Big left hand there from OAM, dips the head and rips that left hand. Body kick there from Marcin Held.
It definitely feels like the southpaw style is throwing Held off. We're not seeing the combinations and the setups that we saw against Nathan Schultz.
If you don't have a lot of southpaws to go against the camp, as you guys know, it can be really problematic.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like he's in range with that left hand repeatedly of OAM. There's that big kick. And Marcin looking for a clinch. And sometimes you'll see him, when he gets in on this leg, he sometimes will drop for a leg lock attempt from this position. So don't be surprised if you see it. If he's not successful with that single leg takedown, he might just drop to his guard and attack that leg.
Well, look, the southpaw stance isn't problem enough. The freakish size and strength of Olivier Aubin-Mercier can't make things any easier for the experienced Polish fighter Marcin Held. brief clash there, but nothing really landed. Swinging away is Albin Messier.
And a little cut and held. You can see a little blood on his forehead. Might be coming out of that hairline. He got caught with a pretty good shot, probably a straight left.
And Obed Mercier finding some good success attacking the body of Marcin Held, and those will pay dividends and slow a fighter down.
Now OAM pressing Marcin Held up against the smart cage. Goes to work with the knee on the leg. Negates that toss attempt there from Marcin Held. Sends another knee up top. One minute remains here in round number one. Still 6 points on the line. If either of these men can get a finish. Loic Radjabov watching with great interest now as he holds 6 points in the standings.
Mercier with the inside position, double underhooks, but unable to get the hip position and put Held on the ground.
Held attempting that toss again, unable to complete any offensive grappling here so far in round number one. Lost mouthpiece for a quick timeout. Gasper Oliver puts it back. Right back to action for the final 30 seconds of round one.
Huge overhead right. Albert Garcia goes to work from the top, pounding away. Marcin Held hanging on to survive. Big right hand. He shifted his stance and caught Marcin. He's got 5 seconds to try to get a finish, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Marcin Held will see round two, maybe just barely.
Wow.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics, police officers, homemakers. And we are there serving our nation in the Air Force Reserve. When medical emergencies arise, in cybersecurity, when natural disasters happen, we are there in space. We are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and we are there with over 180 different jobs to serve your country.
Right on the chin and puts him on his back. Comes down with a ground and pound, trying to find a way to finish. Held getting his arms and feet into the fight and saving himself.
And I tell you what, that beautiful right hand there, you see the shift of the stance which threw Held off. And he landed another nice right hand, but then Marcin able to tie him up and get some frames a little bit with his legs. And just getting his arms on the inside and held onto that head, and that's why he survived. And I tell you what, when Marcin went back to his corner, seemed like he was hurt.
Yeah, he was still wobbling for sure.
Loic Radjabov enjoying a treat backstage and wondering what's going to happen in this one. It's one more reason why that southpaw stance you're not accustomed to seeing presents a problem. Because that switch leads, that step through, it comes from a different angle now.
Absolutely.
Now Held comes out aggressive. He wobbled a bit going back to his corner. Fighter performance rating 92-41, close to a finish there from OAM. He's rewarded in the FPR, and he's still swinging away. Interesting little right hand there from Marcin Held. An overcut. Hook straight lands there for OAM. There's our Cronus Fight Tracker. A lot of this fight taking place on the outer edge of the cage. Swinging away now towards the middle. These two lightweights looking for points.
And OAM just using all of the southpaw tricks. That right check hook, that straight left hand, and that big left roundhouse kick. He's finding all of those with great success here against Marcin Held.
He's able to do that because he's keeping that lead leg just outside of Held's lead leg. And puts him right in the pipe, right down the pipe.
Some good awareness here from OAM strategically. He knows the real sports format of the Professional Fighters League, regular season playoffs, and the championship. He also knows he missed his first fight, which means he's minus 1 point. He needs a finish if he wants to get into these playoffs. So he's been fighting very aggressively. Now it slows down a little bit. Marcin Held might see that to his advantage.
Impressive takedown defense by Mercier. He does a great job keeping his hips out of trouble. Scrambles well.
Similar to Rory McDonald, who we'll see fight next week's card. You know, OAM's a Canadian. He had to find new places to train during the pandemic. All the lockdowns were so restrictive up north that he had to go to Puerto Rico. He had to come to the United States to get training camps in. Successfully did so. And you can see he's in great shape and he's been ready to go.
Marcin still holding on to that single leg, trying to do something with it. I'm surprised he hasn't dropped down to try to attack the leg, but being up against the cage, they're not in the best of positions to do so.
Another attempt at that switch lead right hand there from OAM. This time, Held sniffed it out.
Looks like OAM has just been keeping Marcin Held off balance this whole time. And like Randy said, he's doing a great job of foot positioning, just keeping that right foot on the outside of the lead leg of Marcin Held. He's landing all these big weapons like he is right now.
There's another combination from OAM, and he falls into a clinch. I've been in this position before, Kenny. It's one of the downsides of constant forward pressure. You run into the cage, and even when you're landing, you rob yourself of that space. You end up in a clinch when maybe it'd be better to keep the space and keep throwing.
Yeah, it's tough, you know, especially when you're kind of doing the blitz style combination. You know, your momentum carries you forward, and again with this grappling background, a lot of times it's just a natural instinct grab him, you know. But there's a takedown.
He's able to rip the legs out there, and now OAM on top of Marcin Held. Some body shots here from the left hand of OAM. 1 minute remaining here. Here's a look at our PFL's revolutionary technology, the Ghost Cam. Just removing the cage, so it doesn't block the view.
Now OAM trying to move into half guard. Keeping good position, keeping Marcin pinned to the mat, but Marcin's still dangerous here.
Marcin's looking, he's fishing with that right hand, looking for that thigh of Mercier. He wants to try and pull himself through.
Looks like OAM is trying to feed.
He's trying to feed that right hand down, hook that leg. Get his center of gravity high enough he can pull himself through there and attack those legs.
Olivier Aubin-Mercier looking to finish round 2 on top here. And round 3 when we return.
Walter, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? World's strongest man, Martins Litzis, to help you break down boxes.
What am I gonna do to you, Box? Let me break it down for you. Oh! You're going down! Down to the recycling center!
Hey, thanks, Martins.
Hey, you're welcome.
Geico. Switch today and see all...
There is two-time lightweight champion Natan Schultz in a win-or-go-home scenario coming up here in a couple of fights on ESPN+. Sean O'Connell, Randy Couture, Kenny Florian heading into the third round here between Olivier Aubin-Mercier and Marcin Held. OAM needs a finish desperately. Marching Held, he could also give himself a playoff spot if he can get a finish here in round number 3. OAM in the black and gray trunks. Marching Held in the red.
Held with a third round finish. Guarantee himself a playoff spot. AOM, even with a finish in this third round, I don't think that's going to guarantee him a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's pretty much out because of the way the math works out. But he's still looking for that second check. You saw in the fighter performance rating. He is on top according to the FPR algorithm. And the aggression continues from both of these gentlemen. Marching Held showing some urgency here in round number 3.
Held showing a lot of heart here, and OAM has just been very slick. He really hasn't taken a whole lot of damage from Held, but he's landed a decent amount. This is a much improved striker.
OAM uses the movement to escape the cage there, circles back to the center. Left hand keeps coming. Right hand over the top, and then a shovel uppercut. Once again from the right hand of OAM. Finding some creative ways to find the chin and temple on Marching Held.
I tell you what, Marching Held has a heck of a chin. He had a lot of shots against Schultz. He's eating a lot of shots here and surviving. Now attacking that leg. This could be. He's caught inside heel. This is very tight. This could be a problem if he can get that heel, guys. He's trying to get a hold of that heel. He's trying to go belly down. Not able to do it. OAM has to escape that knee line. He's in a much better position. There he is. He's going to escape. Now his knee has escaped.
Nice work by OAM to extend the leg and then peel it back, get it out of trouble.
That was close, though.
3 minutes remain here for Marching Held to try and make something happen.
Mercier doing a good job with that free leg, getting it right on the spot, creating some distance, sliding that trap leg out. Held got his Christmas goose early in that one.
There's Clay Collard right now. Also 6 points for Clay Collard. Spinning back fist attempt there for Marching Held. Collard fighting later tonight on ESPN 2 and Plus. Inside leg kick attempt there from Marching Held. Checked. Round 3 halfway gone. 2.5 minutes left. Held dives down to the low leg. OAM steps out of it. Another shovel uppercut.
Yeah, that's a pretty shot. He's been landing that a few times here against Marching Held.
That's a home run swing, in my opinion. It's a risky technique to throw, but when it lands, goodness gracious, it can be devastating.
Absolutely.
Randy, we've seen a really well-rounded display of mixed martial arts here from OAM. Jiu-Jitsu defense on display once again here. Trying to get his leg out. Marching Held doing a great job of keeping it now.
Mercier getting warned for grabbing the fence. He used the fence a little bit to slide his leg out of there. A little desperation and Held now. He's throwing it all out.
Sure is. Marching's an absolute warrior. How do you get caught with a check right hook there again from OAM?
Back fist attempt for the second time from Held. Blocked by OAM. And there comes that left hand again.
Marching is just looking exhausted out there.
Randy, you know this better than anyone. His work against the cage, shifting from grappling back to striking, back to grappling, that's as grueling as it gets.
It absolutely is. It's a space where there is no rest position. You're constantly flexing those muscles, fighting for those little bitty positions, those little nooks and crannies on the body to keep them there or to keep yourself upright.
Kasparov is remaining, steps in for a break. Resets the action here. Held stalking, trying to walk Olivier Aubin-Mercier down, makes something happen. Very late in the game here for Held. Oh, high kick attempt there, blocked. Body kick there from Held, that landed. Check hook again lands. A flurry to end things. Olivier Aubin-Mercier and Marcin Held, 3 great rounds at 155 pounds. OAM, tired. Marcin Held, exhausted. OAM. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He feels like he's done enough to win. There's our Cagenomics stats bundle presented by Geico. More active in the strikes for Marcin Held. Higher percentage landed by OAM.
It's oh so quiet. Shh, shh. It's oh so still. Shh, shh. And so peaceful until you blow up fuse. Sing boom, the devil comes loose. Sing boom, so what's the use? I'm falling.
Eastern on ESPN2 and on ESPN Plus. It's a massive debut in the sport of mixed martial arts. The greatest women's boxer in history, Carissa Shields, steps into the cage for the first time in a tough matchup against the jiu-jitsu practitioner in Brittany Elkin. Plus, the push to the playoffs heats up for frontrunners Brendan Loughnane, Bubba Jenkins, and Clay Collins.
You see that left hand coming straight down the pipe from the southpaw Mercier. He set that up a bunch of times. That center here Held, rolling to the leg, trying to isolate that single leg.
That's a rich
to isolate that heel for the heel hook. Again, straight left, right hook, followed up with that shovel hook, or the shovel uppercut. He landed that a few times in this fight.
Beautiful work by the cameraman on those rich energy replays. Nice combinations by OAM, good wrestling against the cage, and of course, excellent submission defense. Will it be enough? According to Fighter Performance Rating, yes. Strong performances from OAM on the FPR. FPR says OAM won. Randy thinks that OAM won. Kenny agrees. What will the judges say? Lillian Garcia lets us know.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored the bout 30-27. For your winner, by unanimous decision, and earning 3 points in the lightweight division, Olivier Aubin-Mercier!
OAM with his first MMA victory in a couple of years. That's why he's so emotional. Loic Radzhabov finding out just now that that result clinches him a spot in the playoffs. That means he will be fighting again in August, and the pursuit of a $1 million championship still continues.
I'm just glad I got to see Loic smile. That's the first time. And now he's like, look, right back to being Loic again. Very serious again, but wow, there's a smile.
A little celebration from Loic Radzhabov. Tajikistan, stand up. Your guy is going to the playoffs. Excellent performance by OAM. And oddly enough, that proves to be a benefit for Loic Radzhabov. Have a little help from your friends.
That's right.
There's our lightweight standings for now. The week for Jabov, 6 points, 27-second TKO victory earlier tonight. That's good enough. The talk show still to come when we come back.
Did you know that Geico's whole 15 minutes thing, that came from me? Really? My first idea was, in 1/4 of an hour, your savings will tower over you, figuratively speaking. But that's not catchy, is it? It's not going to swim about in your brain. So I thought, what about 15 minutes, 15%? Serendipity.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome back to Atlantic City. Featherweights and lightweights in action in the hunt for the PFL playoffs. Sean O'Connell, Ray Couture, Kenny Florian. So far, some amazing fights. We've had 3 finishes in the early goings. We just saw that grueling performance between Marcin Held and OAM. We're delivering tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, and by the way, later tonight, Claressa Shields makes her mixed martial arts debut. That's right. A 2-time Olympic gold medalist, a 3-division boxing champion, and someone who decided, you know what, at 26 years old in the prime of my athletic career, I'm going to jump in to a sport that I know nothing about. Former UFC women's bantamweight champion Holly Holm knows exactly how hard it is to make this transition from boxing to MMA. She's now a training partner of Claressa Shields at Jackson Winklejohn down in New Mexico. The former women's champion opens up about her teammate's journey in a 4-part series documenting Shields' journey. It's streaming now on ESPN+.
With Claressa coming, I think it's definitely overwhelming, and I remember feeling that way. You're doing a private lesson with a coach, like trying to get these basic things from like the ground game, and then it's like the next day you go into wrestling, and then the next day you're like back to the kicks, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is just so much.
MMA is so tricky. It's like, yeah, a girl may be on my level where she may have 2 fights, but she may have done jiu-jitsu for 8 years. I know a lot of my MMA fights, especially my first one, may be tough. I think that me being successful in MMA will make those who overlook women's boxing for so many years look at us and say, you women should be respected, and the inequality that you guys face is not fair.
That is now streaming on ESPN+. Behind the scenes action, full documentation of the journey as Claressa Shields moves from a boxing champion and that great history and that great resume, trying to do the same thing in this sport. And she's not abandoning boxing, by the way. She's going to pursue both. I've been told Lil Bird said, I'm still boxing later this year. So she's definitely not leaving boxing in the rear view. Holly Holm's part of that little piece. Holly Holm's part of that documentary series. Holly Holm was part of Claressa Shields' camp. What kind of a value does she get out of a resource like someone who's made the journey before her?
Well, I think that's invaluable. I mean, you can't replace that. She knows how difficult that transition is. She knows all the other facets of MMA that Claressa Shields is going to have to face. And that's information you can't pay enough for.
And Kenny, it's not just Holly Holm down there at one of the iconic gyms in mixed martial arts in Jackson Wink. You know, she's worked with John Jones. Right. She's got a ton of good training partners. She's got excellent coaching down there. She made the sacrifices to move herself down there. You can't question Claressa Shields' commitment to really doing this the whole way.
No question about it. She's at one of the best gyms in the world. There's a ton of experience. Not only experience, championship experience. There are a bunch of world champions that have gone through that gym. And with that, with that experience, you learn from a lot, from their mistakes to all the things that they've done right and wrong. So I think Claressa is taking it in. She's obviously a tremendous athlete, and she's going to learn a lot there.
But the journey into mixed martial arts begins tonight. All the questions that people have been throwing at her, that people have been asking about her, we start to get the answers on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus later here in Professional Fighters League action. Up next, Natan Schulte, a two-time lightweight champion. And it's the moment of truth for a guy who's held the gold twice. He tasted defeat for the first time in 4 years when he lost to Marcin Held in his first regular season fight. Now it's win or go home. He's a crafty Brazilian, and he has proven he can finish fights in past seasons. Can he do it again tonight?
Então, eu acho que eu demorei um pouco pra começar a luta. Eu acho que eu comecei a lutar ali a partir dos 2 minutos do segundo round. O que definiu mesmo foi o segundo round. Se eu tivesse apertado um pouco mais no segundo round, ou talvez ter dado umas quedas, ou ter caído numa posição por cima, eu tivesse ganho aquele segundo round onde a história seria totalmente diferente. Na verdade, acho que foi mais o cansaço mental, porque o meu físico eu estava bem no terceiro round, eu acabei sentindo ele bem cansado.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics, police officers, homemakers. And we are there serving our nation in the Air Force Reserve. When medical emergencies arise, in cybersecurity, when natural disasters happen, we are there in space. We are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and we are there with over 180 different jobs to serve your country. Air Force Reserve.
Hi, Verizon launched the first 5G network, and now we want to be the first to give everyone the joy of 5G by giving every customer a new 5G phone on us. Old customers, new customers, families, businesses, in-laws, law firms, every customer. New 5G phones when you trade in your old ones. And if you're not a customer, we'll help cover the cost to switch. Just ask Wanda, she's been with us since. Now, upgrade your phone, upgrade your network.
Welcome back. Arcadenomics tells us that those are the 3 fastest strikes of the night so far. 22 miles an hour for OAM, Chris Wade, and Sheymon Moraes just shy of that. Strike speed is powered by SMT. Fight fans, PFL fan token holders have voted, and Brendan Lock's name is the winner of the fan favorite finish. He gets a $5,000 fighter bonus for his knockout at PFL 1. To find out how you can be part of the next PFL fan vote, download the Socios.com app. Yes! Here's our lightweight standings for now with OAM's decision victory over Marcin Held. The week where Jabov clinches a spot. Clay Collard also has 6 points. He will be chasing bonus points later tonight. Natan Schulte coming up momentarily can clinch a spot himself if he gets a stoppage. And there is Russo Natan Schulte, the 2-time champion. He'll take on Alexander Martinez, an undefeated prospect out of Paraguay who is none too pleased, Kenny Florian, with being the big-time underdog in this fight.
Yeah, that's right. Really believes in himself and believes he's being overlooked here against Schulte big time.
So here's how the playoffs work out for these two gentlemen as we head into this bout. Alexander Martinez, he carries 3 points into this one against Natan Schulte. If he gets a win of any kind, he's in the playoffs. Natan Schulte is going to need a finish. A stoppage win, though, for Natan Schulte means that he is in.
Right, so he can do that in any round.
Yes.
Right. So there is Martinez fired up. You know, even though he got the win against Rajabov, he believed he did make a whole lot of mistakes that he learned from. stayed here in the United States, went to Las Vegas, did his camp for this fight there. And he loves this matchup. He really does.
Randy, he's a young guy. He's still undefeated. His last outing for the PFL was really his first foray onto the big stage. And he performed well, but as Kenny just said, it wasn't a dominant victory over Luis Rajaba. He actually fought a good portion of that bout off his back. Now, he was aggressive from there and earned himself a narrow decision victory, but he wants a convincing performance tonight.
Let's be honest, this was a big step up in competition for him. I think he weathered it well, but it was still an eye-opener for him. I think he's got his feet under him now. He knows exactly where he's at and exactly what he has to do.
And his opponent, Natan Schultz.
I cannot stress to people enough how shocking it was to see Natan Schultz lose his first bout of Season 3. Now, Marcin Held, who beat him, is a prime competitor, is a formidable foe, but Natan Schultz has looked so good in his run through 2 PFL seasons and 2 PFL championships. He's got incredible judo, his jiu-jitsu is on point, he's weathered striking storms, he got dropped and recovered and choked out Ramsey Nijam. The guy has been through it all in the PFL cage, except for this. He has never had to bounce back off a loss.
This, in my opinion, is a true test of his championship spirit. It's not about the guy that wins all the time. It's about the guy that faces that adversity and steps up and deals with the loss and comes back and gets back on that horse. And that's what we're seeing in Natan Schultz right here tonight.
Our tail of the tape for this lightweight bout presented by Geico. Natan Schultz, 2 years older. He's 2 inches shorter. He experiences a 4-inch deficit in the arm reach, but has a slight advantage with the legs. And don't be surprised to see Natan Schultz and Alexander Martinez put the full tools of mixed martial arts on display. These are 2 gentlemen who like to strike, they like to grapple, they like to do it all. Very exciting for this feature bout here on ESPN+. Lillian Garcia starts them off.
Fight fans, this is the feature bout on ESPN+, and it is in the lightweight division, brought to you by Geico. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is a striker. Standing at 6 feet tall, he weighs in officially 156 pounds. In 9 professional fights, he has an undefeated record of 8 victories and 1 no contest, with 6 wins by way of stoppage. Fighting out of Grand Prairie, Alberta, Canada, and representing Paraguay, here is Alexander Martinez. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he specializes in judo. Standing at 5'10", he officially weighs in at 156 pounds. In 25 professional bouts, he has a record of 20 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Fighting out of Joinville, Brazil, here is your 2-time PFL Lightweight World Champion, Natan Schultz. Your referee in charge, Vito Sheldon.
Our referee Vitor equipped with the ref cam. Alexander Martinez representing Paraguay. In the black and gray trunks, the Brazilian Natan Schultz in the red and black Valet Tudos.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Fight!
I would be remiss, gentlemen, if I not mention that this fight came together on just a couple of days' notice for both of these individuals because of some injuries and some shuffling around. They both prepared for different opponents and now find themselves squaring off against the man in front of them. Schultz having a push kick there from Martinez.
Schultz, the absolute bruiser, going against Martinez, who likes to use his feet to hop in and out of range. Curious to see how these guys match up. So far, Martinez showing he might be the faster guy out there.
2 low calf kicks there from Natan Schultz, and now he's in on the takedown attempt.
Schultz trying to scramble to get to his back, and he's there. One hook in, needs the other anchor to secure that back position. Here comes the anchor.
Martinez trying to keep this
There it is.
going, and there's no time. Oh,
nope, didn't get there.
not quite. Alexander Martinez proficient here. Now Natan Schultz continues to search, trying to get that right hook in.
Schultz doing a good job of getting that right arm to the inside, kind of doing that spiral ride there to try to keep Martinez belly down. See if he can get that second hook. But
Taking the other hook out.
Martinez crawling over the cage here. He'll try to use the barrier. The smart cage to get himself up.
Schultz in a great position here to pound away and set up that rear naked choke.
A lot of time, and these gentlemen are pretty dry, which is not good when someone's on your back. Martinez staying calm here as Natan Schultz searches for the neck.
Oh, reversal by Martinez.
Schultz right back to his feet. It's no part of being underneath Alexander Martinez.
Martinez was a bit of a Houdini against Roger Boff in his first fight here in the PFL, and did the same thing here against Schultz so far.
And judo on display there from Schultz, and he slams Martinez right down on his face and right back to that position with one hook in.
Put a lot of pressure on that right shoulder.
Yeah.
The execution of that looked like it hurt.
I agree, it looked like he hurt his arm, but very few people use their judo in MMA better than Natan Schultz.
That's a great point, Kenny. There are people with better judo credentials, right? Kayla Harrison, short Ronda Rousey back in the day, better judo credentials potentially, but in terms of applying it to mixed martial arts, I don't know if we've seen people do it better than Natan Schultz.
On again, falling off the back, climbing right back to his feet, not settling for any position here, but exactly where he wants to be.
Back to the distance they go here. Martinez gets back to his feet, and there's that low calf kick again. This time Martinez responds. Gets a high kick as well. Terminator style as always from Natan Schultz.
Yep, great escape there by Martinez, and Schultz just plowing away there, trying to come forward like Juggernaut here.
That's the third time he's landed that little low calf kick on Martinez. Martinez has returned twice now.
And I'll tell you what, Randy, we saw him disable Louis Rajabov with that exact kick in the final back in our 2019 season. So he's had success with it. No surprise he's going back to the well.
Nice, he's got the hip position. Very nice job by Natan Schultz. Back down on the mat goes Martinez.
So excellent when he gets that body lock and compromising balance, going back and forth, and he uses his feet. You get your heels out from under you, your toes out from under you, get your weight on the wrong axis. But good work by Martinez getting back up. Nice 1-2. And a double leg attempt here from the young man.
Scramble by Schultz. Nice job. Scrambling out of there, not conceding any position. Too much Schultz doing a better job keeping his hands up and not taking all those shots right on the chin.
Yeah, he is taking a lot of those on the top of the head and on his elbows. That shelling defense just walks forward.
I love Natan Schultz style because it's like my style, but if I also knew how to grapple.
Oh, that's great.
Push kick there in the midsection of Alexander Martinez. Good right hand.
Nice little right hand on the inside by Schultz.
Inside of 10 seconds here in round one. Nice combo for Martinez in the late goings here in round number one. And there's the final bell. An interesting first round. High-level grappling on display. Some good combinations, especially late there. A treat for the fight fans. There's Claressa Shields, the quote, arriving for her mixed martial arts debut. Just moments ago, stepped into the arena here. Backstage. She keeps her braids blue to raise awareness of the water situation in her hometown of Flint, Michigan. She's got 3 boxing belts. She's got 2 Olympic pugilism medals. And tonight she begins her mixed martial arts journey. Claressa Shields in our showcase main event later on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. Back to this lightweight affair here, featured on our ESPN Plus card. Schultz Martinez, look, I don't know how you score that one, but it wasn't a dominant round for either man.
True. I give the nod a little bit to Nathan Schultz. He had his back on 2 occasions. He plodded forward. Sometimes the judges see that guy that's pressuring and give him the nod. But tough one to score.
FPR agrees with you. FPR has it probably a little bit more lopsided than I would have. But that's why we go with the algorithm, okay? It's objective. Nice little pass there.
Right off the bat.
Damage there to that lead leg of Nathan Schultz, and he says, I don't want to stand on it anymore. Game performance. Grabbing his opponent, getting him down to the mat. And once again, he'll try and ride it out. Alexander Martinez scrambles back to his feet. Nathan Schultz desperately wrestling off of a leg and a half, maybe, Kenny?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely hurt and hit that takedown at the right time.
I think he had his leg planted when he threw that low leg kick, and it either tweaked his knee or his ankle. It's hard to say which one.
Well, we've seen that before. We saw that Tyron Woodley and Carlos Condit. Tyron Woodley landed a leg kick on Carlos Condit, and it actually tore the ACL on his plant leg, if I'm not mistaken. So it can happen.
It was one of those calf kicks, and the thing about those, it only takes one to completely change the fight. Martinez landed, and like Randy said, it looked like all of the weight was on that lead leg of Schultz. And you see Schultz going right back to his grappling, does not want to stay on the feet for too long. That leg is most likely still injured.
What an incredible display of timing there from Nathan Schultz. Just as Alex Martinez was getting back to his base, got both feet planted on the mat, Schultz inside trip, gets one leg out. Oh, and now chain wrestling. Goodness gracious. This is high level stuff.
Sweaty bodies, he's too high. He's going to come out the back.
Yep.
Unbelievable work here by Nathan Schultz, and the counters by Alexander Martinez are equally impressive. Great stuff. Back to distance they go inside the middle of that PFL Smart Cage. And Schultz appears to have shaken out the real pain in his lead leg. Martinez continues to attack, and it's still bad enough that Nathan Schultz has decided to switch stances. Nice combination from Martinez, finishes with a high kick. Hands on display as well. Nice uppercut and a left hook to follow.
Martinez starting to land with more frequency.
I'm not seeing Schultz punch his way in. He's just waiting in there, taking every shot that Martinez throws. And Martinez is starting to mix it up and throw some really nice combinations. Head outside single. Martinez reverses it.
The key here is that Alex Martinez is backing straight up for the most part, and Nathan Schultz is walking him down. That's a nice one, too.
Schultz is doing a good job when he shows up. Anytime an arm comes to a certain side, he returns on that same side with a shot, and he's surprising Martinez. He's just not utilizing his legs to put more power into his shot. He's kind of just swinging with his arms. If he can get his legs involved a little bit more, he could hurt Martinez with these shots.
Martinez is putting some combinations together here. He's figuring out the distance and the timing as Schultz trudges forward. Play caller backstage. Very interested in the results here. He currently has one of 2 lightweights holding on to 6 points in the playoff standings. Schultz hanging heavy on Martinez's back.
Yeah, and this has really been the battle. Martinez has found a way to counter this back attack from Schultz repeatedly.
Nice arm over wizard by Martinez to neutralize the inside position of Nathan Schultz.
Nathan Schultz could get into the playoffs with a finish in any round. Alexander Martinez gets in with a win. He could ride out a decision, but with this much time left in round number 2, it might take more than a decision. There's that low kick again there from Martinez. The undefeated prospect counting well for himself against a two-time champion.
Martinez again doing a great job of defending this back position. Now has an overhook in a much better position now. And this is going to start to frustrate Schultz and tire him out.
Gotta be frustrating to have a guy that deep, to be that close, and just have him weasel out of there, slip out of there every single time.
Sharp 1-2 again from Alexander Martinez. The left hand snuck in for Natan Schultz as we close round 2. These two.
Did you know that Geico's whole 15 minutes thing, that came from me? Really? My first idea was, in 1/4 of an hour, your savings will tower over you, figuratively speaking. But that's not catchy, is it? It's not going to swim about in your brain. So I thought, what about 15 minutes, 15%? Serendipity.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car.
He's just hurt. I think the joints are okay, but he just hurt it.
Sees that muscle up.
Yep, you can see it if it hits on that right nerve, and there's Martinez landing some combinations. And guys, this was a much more successful round for Martinez, and I had him winning it. I mean, Schultz had his moments as well, but I thought Martinez landed a little bit more.
I'll be curious to see what FPR thought of that round, what the judges thought of that round. It's not an easy one to score because
I had for Martinez too. I agree with Ken.
Could be 1-1 now, heading into the third.
Those combinations and that kick, his ability to just scramble out of every takedown attempt.
Third and final round here in lightweight action. There's your FPR score, and true to what you gentlemen said, the FPR and the algorithms say Martinez won round number 2, so could be a round of peace on the judges' scorecards as well. Alexander Martinez staying at distance. Tell you what, he's excellent with the straight punches and the straight kicks. Nice body shot there, searching for Alexander Martinez. Knee to greet Natan Schultz as he comes in. There's a slapping hook as well for the long out runner.
Man.
Heavy hands there from Natan Schultz.
Nice little twisting body lock by Natan, but Martinez is not having it. He is not going to concede a single position.
And on the stand-up, he snuck a right uppercut in and snapped back Natan Schultz's head.
And Randy, that's one thing we saw in his first fight. Martinez fight for every single position, no matter where he is.
Natan Schultz could score himself a playoff spot with a finish here in round number 3. A decision doesn't guarantee him anything. Will he stay aggressive? Alexander Martinez continues to retreat. Schultz grounds that spinning kick and gets his opponent to the mat. 3.5 minutes here in round number 3. There's our PFL Ghost Cam removing the chain link for you. Let you see right through. Martinez looking for the underhook and is able to get it. Unreal cardio on display from both of these guys right now.
Martinez got no problem giving up his back because he's been here, 10 times in this fight and manages to get out every single time.
Nice work by Schultz, peeling him right back down, away from the cage, not letting him use the barrier to create leverage or to peel Schultz off. Fighting hands now, Alexander Martinez trying to turn and face Natan Schultz. Back down to the mat they go. This time Martinez is able to face. Natan Schultz grabs his single leg and puts it right down on his back again. The two-time champion putting his grappling on display.
Well, this is where control has to come into play. He's got a little over 2 minutes to get a submission here. Schultz has a very good arm triangle. Let's see if he can set it up. He's got to clear at least one of those legs of Martinez. He's not finding success. Anytime Martinez turtles up like that, he's just not able to capitalize here. He's staying way too low, and he's allowing the longer Martinez to get up repeatedly.
Martinez is so good from this quarter position. He protects himself so well, he never lets you get both hooks in and anchor yourself on his back. And it allows him to stand right back up and hand control and then stand up.
Martinez rolling, perhaps trying to grab a leg. Schultz counters, lands in half guard. Once again takes the back. 90 seconds remaining in round number 3. FPR says it's around the piece. Kenny and Randy say it's around the piece.
Schultz is just staying way too low anytime he's trying to attack that turtle position, Martinez. There's no downward pressure, so Martinez is able to get to his knees or his feet almost every single time.
The Schultz lock is down around his waist instead of up around his head and shoulders, keeping that forward pressure and making him put weight on his hands to keep him down there.
Persistent wrestling here from Natan Schultz. Once again, puts Alexander Martinez on his back. Schultz in the half guard. And like clockwork, Alexander Martinez turns around, stands back up.
And fighting. He is locked clear down there around the waist. No forward pressure. No weight on Martinez. Nice job of Martinez. Little inside trip. Schultz says, oh man, he scrambled. Man, that was wild.
A battle of attrition in the grappling here. I cannot overstate how tiring this type of a fight is. 10 seconds remaining here. We will not see a finish, which has huge implications for the playoff picture, regardless of what the judges say.
Yeah, tougher on the score. Schultz had majority of positions, had his back for more than half of the round, but the best combinations and the best things happened came from Martinez. How do you score that? That's a tough one to score, and that decides who gets the nod, not only in the win, but into the playoffs.
Potentially, absolutely. Natan Schultz looking to bounce back off his first loss in 4 years, and that is the grueling performance that his opponent gives him. If you're going to get a win after that long, it's hard-earned. There's our Cagenomics stats bundle presented by Geico. You can see there, Alexander Martinez, more active and more accurate in the striking. 9 takedowns for Natan Schultz. 9 takedowns?
Gummies aren't just great tasting. They're power-packed vitamins that help unleash your energy. Loaded with B vitamins and other key essential nutrients, it's a tasty way to conquer your day. Try Centrum Multi-Gummies, now with the new look.
Nothing's greater than kicking off Euro 2020. Turkey, Italy, Friday on ESPN.
Time to get your PFL swag. Go to shoppfl.com and use the code 2021 to get 21% off this season's latest PFL gear. That's shoppflmma.com. Let's take a look at some of these replays, Randy.
There's that low kick again. The dividends with that low kick to that low calf. There's Schultz in where he likes to be, that body lock position. So slick from there. Takedown, but Martinez just does not concede a single position. Makes you work for everything. Single again, head outside single, inside trip. There's big spinning kick, but Natan smothers it. Man, still got him in the back of the head with that heel. Body lock. Drops him, tries to take his back. Martinez just not having it. He scrambled out of every single one of those attempts.
Unbelievable chain wrestling and chain defense from both of these guys. And how about it? A little handshake?
Like another training session, you know? Just sitting on the wall talking about what you did. Well, man, how'd you do that? I don't know, but how'd you do this?
Fighter Performance Rating gives 2 rounds to Natan Schultz. FPR presented by our good friends at Rich Energy. Judges taking their time deliberating on this one, and I do not blame them. Not an easy fight to call. A lot on the line here. I mean, we already talked about the fact that Natan Schultz is coming off his first loss in 4 years. That young man on your screen right there, Alexander Martinez, has never lost. He's still got the coveted O in the loss column.
Yep, I mean, it's going to come down to whether the judges saw control as being a factor or, you know, the damaging strikes from Martinez. Going to be close.
Lillian Garcia has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Eric Colon scores the contest 29-28 for Martinez. Judge Muna Holland scores it 29-28 for Schultz. And Judge Prairie Regilo has it 29-28 for your winner by split decision and earning 3 points in the lightweight division, Natan Schultz!
So Natan Schultz, a decision win in a hard-fought battle. Excellent grappling on display, both offensive and defensive. You can't hang your head after a performance like that if you're Alexander Martinez. Interestingly enough, 3 points in the PFL lightweight standings for Natan Schultz. I told you, had he earned a finish in any round, he would have clinched. Guess what? Far from over. He doesn't clinch anything with those 3 points. We have to wait to see how everything plays out tonight. And Anthony Showtime Pettis, who will be fighting in 2 weeks, along with Raush Manfio, who happens to be Natan Schultz's best friend. We still have to see what happens in that bout.
Yep. I'll tell you what, for a non-math guy, you came up with a pretty cool algorithm there, Sean.
Back for more and some clarity on the playoff picture when we return.
This June 21st and 22nd is Amazon Prime Day. 2 days of epic deals. You can change your kitchen, change your yard, change your game, even change the way you celebrate. Yeah, Prime Day deals can change a lot. So if you have plans on Prime Day, this June 21st and 22nd, change them.
The PFL on ESPN Plus has been brought to you by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. Presidente, drink responsibly. Bose, the official sound of the PFL. And by Rich Energy, sophisticated, smooth, and finishes clean.
There's our featherweight standings after the ESPN Plus show so far. Chris Wade, with the first knockout of his career, clinched a playoff spot. He's got 8 points. Sheymon Moraes, also an excellent job hit by him tonight with that last second buzzer beater on the Kimura submission. He's got 5 points, and right now that's good enough for third place in the standings. Brendan Loughnane and Bubba Jenkins round out the top 4. Khalid Hadalai and Tyler Diamond. We'll see what happens with them. It's a complicated picture with guys holding on to 3 points. We're going to get into some tiebreakers at some point with featherweights and lightweights. How about that? A collection of hardware for Claressa Shields in the dressing room. The belts, I love the belts, all right? But the gold medals? Come on, man. That's a flex of all flexes by Claressa Shields.
Just leave that right there on the table.
That's like,
you didn't know?
That's a direct shot at you, Randy. That's like,
I can't imagine you're checking that and putting that in the belly of a plane. You got to be walking on with all that stuff, right? I mean, good Lord.
I'm not taking that thing off my body. Are you joking? I'm walking through the metal detector with that thing.
Go ahead, search me.
Right.
There's our lightweight standings. So far, 2 men have clinched the week. Rajabov and Clay Collard, 6 points apiece. Houshman Fio and Alexander Martinez, good enough for now. Natan Shod, Marcin Held, Ahmed Ali, they all have to see how it works out. And this is important because it opens the door for Anthony Showtime Pettis to rebound from his loss in the PFL debut with a finish on June 25th. He could easily slide into that top 4. In fact, a finish would slide him into that top 4.
Yep.
And of course, Houseman Fio, he's like, no, that's my guy. I'm fighting him. I want the win over Anthony Pettis. I want to be in the playoffs. And he happens to be Natan Shod's best friend. So a strong performance by Houseman Fio could actually push the 2-time defending champion out of the playoff picture now that Natan Shod wins. There's just a lot of intrigue here. Let's take a look at our Presidente knockout of the night. The week where Rajabov did it quickly. Left hook, overhand right. There's a follow-up. Almost reluctant, but powerful enough. The week where Rajabov, Presidente knockout of the night. Well, he wasn't happy in that moment, considering it was a first-round finish, because he considers Ahmed Ali a friend. Once he found out that he had clinched the playoff spot, we got the smile on Louis Rajabov. So how's the betting gone so far? We'll send it to Jonathan Coachman and Ian Parker to tell us about so far and what's coming up.
Yeah, John, so far it's been pretty good, to be honest with you. We came straight out of the gate. And my man Ian Parker and Chris Wade is underdog of the night. We catch that plus money. And then Ian, how about OAM by decision plus 325? That's got to feel good.
It feels great. It went exactly how I thought it would. His style, that aggression. He's not much of a finisher. We got a little bit of a scare when he dropped him in the first round. But he held on. He got the win. And that was a big win from him over the last few years. So good for OAM and good for our pockets right to the pay window.
You're darn right we did, but now we've got to spin it forward. We have to look forward to the ESPN 2 card. You just heard the guys break down the different scenarios. There's a lot going on, but the bottom line is you got to finish to guarantee yourself 6 points. But as we look at the ESPN 2 card, outside of Claressa Shields in our main event featured fight, we got 3 numbers that are pretty high. So tell me how you're going to bring those 3 fights down and make them so people can actually tolerate a loss, but also have a nice number to cash.
Instead of risking minus 300 or minus 200 in each fight, we're going to parlay them together and give ourselves plus 154 odds here. We're going to start off with Brendan Loughnane over Tyler Diamond. He's got the momentum right now, that knockout over Shane Moraes. He's feeling confident. He's got very good wrestling, good takedown defense. I believe he gets it done with his hands in this one. Moving on, we got Bubba Jenkins coming off the performance of his career against Lance Palmer. The wrestling is top-notch, first class, and his striking looked pretty good too. So we're going to go with Bubba Jenkins there. And to be the anchor of our parlay, Clay Collard coming off also performance of a lifetime over Anthony Showtime Pettis. I believe he keeps the fight standing. He wins the fight with his hands, and we cash this parlay at plus 154.
Yeah, I like that plus 154. PFL 1, we didn't see a lot of finishes. Tonight, though, a lot more, and we're here for it. So let's get ready for ESPN 2 at the top of the hour, and also the debut of Claressa Shields. If you didn't know already, now let's send it back cage-side to Sean.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Ian. Good luck to all of you folks out there placing the bets. For Randy Couture, Kenny Floria, Lillian Garcia, Jonathan Coachman, and Ian Partner, I am Sean O'Connell. A reminder, coverage continues on ESPN2 with 4 more fights at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's a massive debut in the sport of mixed martial arts. The greatest women's boxer in history, Claressa Shields, steps into the cage for the first time in a tough matchup against jiu-jitsu practitioner Brittany Elkin. Plus, the push to the playoffs heats up for frontrunners like Brendan Lafayette and Bubba Jenkins and Clay Collard. It's been a jam-packed, action-packed night so far. 4 more to go on ESPN2. We'll see you at 10 Eastern. Professional Fighters League action.
Irmãos,